Okay, let's start with a little thought experiment. I want you to really genuinely try and picture this for a second.
What if you were completely alone? No texts, no calls, no one waiting for you at home. Imagine a world where the word "we" just didn't exist for you. Sounds like a pretty bleak sci-fi movie, right? Well, the science of what would actually happen to us, biologically, psychologically, is honestly even wilder. So, to really get why this matters so much, we have to rewind the clock. Way back. Our need for friends, it didn't start with brunch or movie nights. It started as a kind of biological contract, a simple pact just to stay alive.
And you can see this incredible evolution, right? For early humans, friendship was all about practicality. It was pure cooperation. I'll watch for lions while you pick berries. We'll help each other take care of the kids. But over thousands of years, that survival tool, it morphed into something way, way deeper. A fundamental psychological need to belong. Our brains are literally hardwired for this stuff. When you're hanging out with someone you really trust, your brain just gets flooded with all this amazing chemistry. It lets out a rush of oxytocin, that's the bonding hormone, and it makes you feel safe and connected. At the very same time, it slams the brakes on cortisol, our main stress hormone. This effect is so powerful that studies have shown that physical wounds, like actual cuts, heal faster when you've got friends supporting you. It's incredible. And here's the part that's so crucial to understand. When that connection is missing for too long, your body doesn't just feel sad. No, it interprets that isolation as a threat, as a genuine physical injury. Loneliness isn't just in your head. Your body feels it like a wound.
So while your body is basically sounding the alarm, your mind enters an even more dangerous place. It becomes this closed system, an echo chamber with an audience of exactly one.
You see, the human mind was just not designed for total silence. Without a friend to listen, to bounce ideas off of, to offer a different point of view, your own thoughts just start bouncing around in there. They get louder and weirder and more distorted until eventually they just plain start to hurt.
And this goes way beyond just feeling bummed out. To be truly, deeply lonely is to have no witness to your own life. Think about that. There's no one there to reflect your existence back at you. No one to say, yeah, I get why you're upset, or to just remind you that you're seen, that you matter. And after a while, your own sense of who you are, it can actually start to fade. This is what kicks off this really tragic downward spiral. It usually starts with things like anxiety and insomnia. Then, as that echo chamber gets louder, those sleepless nights can lead to your thoughts turning inward, and not in a good way, towards self-loathing. And then, in a crazy attempt to protect you from the pain of more rejection, your brain can literally start to rewire itself to avoid people. And the final terrible step, you can actually forget how to connect. The very thing you need most becomes the one thing you feel you can no longer do.
But the damage, it doesn't just stop with the person who's lonely. Chronic loneliness can have this devastating ripple effect on our ability to connect with society. It's like it flips a switch in our brain, the one that controls our empathy.
It turns out empathy is kind of like a muscle. It needs practice. It needs you to constantly see that reflection of the other in your day-to-day life. But when you go too long without that real human connection, that reflection just disappears, and your ability to understand and feel for other people, it starts to wither away.
And this isn't just some theory, you can see it on brain scans. In people who've been isolated for a long time, the amygdala, the brain's emotional hub, it starts to go quiet. The prefrontal cortex, which is supposed to handle social stuff and empathy, it just stops reacting when it's shown pictures of other people in pain. It's not that they don't know they're causing harm, it's that they no longer feel it.
And that leads to this really chilling thought. So often, the people who do terrible things, they weren't born monsters. They were kids who never had anyone, who were just ignored by everyone until they decided to return the favor by ignoring society's rules. Loneliness can be a factory for antisocial behavior.
Okay, but we have to make a really important distinction here. Not all time spent alone is bad. Not at all. There's a world of difference between choosing to be alone, solitude, and being forced into loneliness. The key difference here is one word: choice. Solitude, when you choose it, can be this amazing restorative refuge. It's a creative lab for your mind. It's where you recharge. Loneliness, though, that's the feeling of being abandoned. It's not restorative. It's a psychological desert where everything just dries up. One can heal you, the other one absolutely breaks you.
And history is just packed with examples of solitude's power. Isaac Newton was in isolation when he came up with his theories on gravity.
Van Gogh painted some of his most beautiful work while he was alone in a hospital. When you choose to enter this state, your brain kicks on something called the default mode network. It's this cool process where your brain starts connecting random ideas and memories and emotions. It's where a ton of creativity comes from. But, and this is the key, you have to have a way out.
Which brings us right to our world today, and this really strange paradox. We are living in the most technologically connected time in all of human history, and yet, reports of deep, profound loneliness are just skyrocketing.
In some parts of the world, this isn't some future problem. It is a full-blown crisis, and it even has a name. In Japan, they call them hikikomori, and these are often young people who just completely withdraw from everything. They'll spend months, even years in their rooms, not because they hate people, but because the fear of being rejected has become stronger than their desire to connect.
And this isn't just happening in one place. In the United Kingdom, the public health crisis of loneliness got so bad that the government did something totally unprecedented. They actually created an official Ministry of Loneliness to try and fight the problem.
So why would they do something that drastic? Because the research uncovered a truly shocking fact. The health risk that comes with chronic loneliness, it's the same as smoking this many cigarettes every single day. 15.
The physical toll is just staggering. People who don't have strong social connections have a way higher risk of heart attacks, a much bigger risk of developing dementia, and a significantly greater chance of premature death from everything. Loneliness doesn't just break your heart metaphorically, it literally breaks it.
So this brings us to a really powerful conclusion. When you look at the biology, the psychology, the way it affects our whole society, one thing becomes crystal clear. Friendship is not an optional extra. It's not some biological luxury. It's a fundamental necessity. It's the very thing that keeps us human.
So I'll just leave you with this question to chew on. We have thousands of friends online, right? But maybe fewer people who would actually show up at our door if we needed them. In the most connected age in history, is it possible we've forgotten how to connect? It's something we're thinking about.